What's going on, guys? Jake here from the Fly Fiend. Welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. Today we're going to be tying up a Eurobou jig. I kind of came up with this idea last year when I was Euro nymphing streamers. I was tying very small, like zonker type streamers, and I wanted something even smaller for low clear water, more of kind of a search pattern. This little Eurobou jig is awesome. I tie this all the way down to a 16, then a 14 and a 12, and all kinds of different colors. This is my favorite combo. The olive and the peacock curl is definitely optional. You can add dubbing, a hot spot, whatever you like, but this has lots of action in the water, and it's just an all around good fly, even for panfish and even bass and some bigger sizes. So I'm gonna get a fresh hook in the vise and we'll get right into this tutorial. The hook I'm tying this fly on is a Fly Fiend 350 WG jig hook. This is a size 14 and primarily my favorite size to tie it on. I also tie it on a size 12 as well as a size 16 if the water is super low. I have that paired up with a 3mm slotted tungsten bead in silver. And the thread we're going to be using is UTC 70 denier in olive. I'm going to start my thread right behind that bead, building a little dam, making sure that it stays in place. Then I can just take some thread wraps down that shank, cut up my tag end, and I'm going to stop my thread right where the hook barb would be on a barbed hook. The first material we're going to be tying in is our tail. And for our tail, we're going to be using some Eurobou, but instead of regular Eurobou, I'm going to be using a little bit of Eurobou down. When you look at a saddle hackle, if you look down at the bottom, there's some nice fluffy, shorter fibers, and I like to use that rather than regular Eurobou. You could use a Chickaboo, would work very well, and this is just miniature Eurobou, in my opinion. With the regular Eurobou, it's either too stringy or just too fluffy. This is kind of the best of both, and it works very well and still has a lot of action and that lightness that Eurobou has. So I'm just going to make a tail there about a hook body, just like so. Now I'm going to take my thread up, trying to keep this Eurobou right on top, trying to keep it as slim and even as possible. Then I can bring that right back up to where I started my thread. Then I can cut out the excess, just like so. Just clean that up a bit. Now if you want, you can tie in one piece of crystal flash here. I have fished it with crystal flash, but I find that the crystal flash is just a little too rigid and doesn't let this Eurobou kind of flutter like how it should. But by all means, if you want to put crystal flash in there, one little strand, it looks really nice, but for me, it just doesn't have the same action without it. So I keep it natural and have no problems with it. Next we're going to tie in the rib, and for a rib we're going to be using some uni wire. This is a small, and this is in neon olive. And I'm going to tie that wire on the shank of the hook facing the camera. What I like to do is actually kind of push it into the bead a bit, up into the slot, so it doesn't spin on me, and it just anchors it in there a lot nicer. So I'm going to take some nice tight thread wraps, making sure that's nice and tight in there. Now for the actual body, we're going to be using Eurobou, and I'm just going to be using some strung Eurobou. And I'm going to grab the whole Eurobou feather, and I'm going to strip off about 3 to 4 pieces. You can use more, you can use less. For a size 14, ideally you want to use 4 to 5 strands of strung Eurobou. I find that gives it the best kind of proportion body to tail to a fly. So I'm just going to strip about 5 pieces off the stem, keeping those tips aligned as best as possible. And I'm actually going to cut some of the stringy part off because I don't want that in there. So I cut probably about 1/8 of an inch off the top. Now I'm going to get this all together. Make a loose wrap so it just grabs it all. Then I can just pull this down and just take it all the way back. So you should be left with a pretty nice smooth body with your wire coming out the one side and the marabou coming out the other. Now I'm going to grab this marabou and just start making some nice touching wraps up the body. You can use hackle pliers for this. It is tricky since it's all kinds of strands. You might not get it all, but my preferred method is actually use my finger. I know there's going to be a lot of finger in the shot, but I'm just wrapping it, holding it, wrapping it, holding it, and you can pinch all those fibers together. So once I get up to the back of that bead, I'm going to tie that off nice and tight. And you can see that this marabou actually has a natural taper in it. So it just makes the fly look very, very natural. So I'm going to grab this wire now, and I'm going to counter rib this marabou since it's very delicate, and if you didn't counter rib this, it would probably rip out within 2 fish. So I'm trying my best not to capture any of that marabou, but it's going to happen. If that's okay, we can just pick it out after. Now I just captured that wire, helicoptered it out, and now I'm just going to grab my scissors here, and you can actually just give it a nice little poke here, and it'll get out most of those fibers. And after we put the peacock in, I can actually brush it out a little bit more, and it will pull more out. So you could honestly just whip finish here and fish it like that. I do that a lot, or I can add a little hot spot, but I actually like adding a little bit of peacock. Trout love peacock, and it just looks very nice in the water. I just add a little collar on it. I don't know if it represents a thorax or what, but I just like the way it looks, and the fish like it as well. So I'm going to tie that in right where I tied off the wire. And just do the exact same thing. I'll wrap, hold it, wrap, hold it, come underneath it, capture it, take one nice tight wrap, pull it back, take one nice wrap in front of it, come in with my scissors, cut that nice and close, just like so. I'm gonna grab my fingers and just kind of pull back on any of those fibers. Then I can put in a 4 or 5 turn whip finish, either with your hand or your whip finish tool. Make sure it's nice and tight, and you can cut that out. There's a little strand there, and cut that out, and it'll be good to go. So now I just have a little comb here, and I just like to go over it and just kind of pick out all that marabou. Make it look nice and buggy. There you have it. Awesome little Euro nymph search pattern. This is my primary color that I tie it in and fish it in. I'll also do black with the peacock, looks very nice. But it's all around an awesome little pattern, and fish can't resist it. So hopefully you liked today's tutorial, guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the materials or the fly or anything like that, you can drop that down in the comment section below. If you want to purchase this fly, I'll have this one and the black one up on our site very shortly, theflyfiend.com. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.